When I give you whistle, every say prrrr, prrrr. When I give you whistle, man, you say prrrr.
It's time for Hoops Talk. You're welcome to another show on the channel. My name is Slimon. I'm joined by Teddy, Oseusu, and Jay. We continue with the grading series. We enter classroom again. But this time we cross over to the West. The Western Conference. We're picking 7 of those teams and we'll see the performance so far this season. I think it's been an impressive West so far. I think 10 out of the 15 teams have just been over the top. The first 10 teams, I think they've been crazy. Let's get straight into grading them. So we're going to start things off with the San Antonio Spurs. And I want to start with yourself, because that'll be your team. I will give you the first bite of the cherry.
Why they cry?
They, of course, got Victor Wembanyama with the first overall pick. But how are things going so far?
Oh, it's been a very bad season. Okay, it was expected to be bad because it's another rebuilding year. We got the first pick. We took Big Vic. He's been exceptional. But across the roster, the other 12 guys, Charlie, it's been very bad. The defense is still horrible. The offense is atrocious. And everything is more like...
Hey, the offense is what?
Oh, the offense is not good. It's atrocious. The offensive rating has been down, like as compared to last season, and then everything is just bad. But at least it's another year you can actually rebuild, see the guys and their strength, and get extra guys on board. But I want to give a big shout out to Devin Vassell. He's been very good and underrated. This because of what Manyama is doing, and then Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Suhan.
But you guys going into the lottery, I think you guys have like a big chance of maybe getting another guy
top 5. So you are looking
or maybe getting someone that you can package for maybe a deal. Or that's too early.
It's too early because at the end of the day, like I said, we have other guys on the roster who need to improve. And Vic is just 20. There's no need to rush. So we need to get a points guard first.
Well, it seems like you're comfortable, like you're relaxed. But Jay, do you think the time span for Victor Wembanyama is because of his length? He might get injured at any time because we know very tall players. They can get injured at any time. So do you think the Spurs must go all in the next 2 years? Like try to make a big trade to maximize what Wemby can do?
Well, I don't really think they need to go all in because they have a good coach in Coach Pop, right? I think they have good pieces. Like you said, Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, they're all good. But I think within like 3-4 years, they have to trade them all. I mean, in the NBA, we need results. You can't just be in real... They've been real building for like 10 years now, right?
Hey.
Yeah, like 10 to 15 years now. You can't always be saying...
10 years ago, I was an NBA champion. I've not been rebuilding for 10 years.
But so maybe like...
It's like 2-3 years.
5 years.
The last time I was in the playoffs was 2020. So, bare 4 years.
That was when after you traded the Junkie, that's what
they've been rebuilding for a while. They've been rebuilding for a while now. So I think maybe within like 3-4 years, they have to get some pieces. You know, people who have like good potential and trade them and get some superstars to pair with Vic. Because I think if he has like a shooting guard or a point guard who's very good with a pick and roll, they can be able to destroy the league.
Teddy, your final touch on the Space.
Well, for me, I like what they've done with their point guard position because at the beginning of the season, it was more Sohan, and then we saw Trey Jones, and then now we are seeing Vassell. I like what Pop is doing, the experiment is doing. And I like how right now the hierarchy of the team has been set. Now it's Victor Wembanyama's team. On offense, we know when he's in the post, you have to.
At the start of the season, he wasn't getting the ball.
When he calls for the ball, you need to give it to him. I like that he has set that piece because when at the beginning of the season, we saw when he wants the ball, they don't give it to him. But now they are giving the ball to him because it is his team. I like it. And for them, we knew it was not going to be a good season. And at least they've delivered on because against some teams we didn't expect them to win. They actually they've delivered. So it's been a delightful team to watch.
So what do you guys think is the general consensus for the grade?
E. I'll give them an E. Because of Vic, I'll give them an E.
Well,
wow.
Yeah, an E.
So we are settling on an E. Yeah, cool with that one.
It's
I'll give them a D,
bad,
man.
but I mean it's
okay. We are going ahead. Okay. Let's move to another team. For the Spurs, of course, they rely on their big man Wemby. Let's go to another team where another big man is dominating. But very unfortunate news that happened at dawn for of course, Brandon Ingram getting that injury. It could really hamper the Pelicans season, but take away that injury, I think the Pelicans have been very good this year. Teddy, I'll start with you on this one. How impressed are you with how the Pelicans have played this year?
It's been so good because from last season to this season wasn't really a good season for them. This season, their defense has been good. Offense has been very fluid. And CJ McCollum shooting threes lights out, which has been good for them. And Ingram on and off ball movements. Point Zion when they go small, and then when he's on the floor, most of the rebounds, because he's able to get more rebounds when he's with the bigs. Your big thinks he's bigger and he's taller than him, but relax, he's going to get the rebound. And Herb Jones has been amazing, navigating screens, setting screens, and he has been shooting well. Murphy the third, shooting from lights out. I think the game against Hawks, shooting from range, and this is what they need.
When we're able to get shooters like that for Zion, he can do a lot of things.
Because he's not able to he's not like a 3-level scorer. He's more clogging the paint and trying to find a layup.
Exactly. So what's your take on the Pelicans? Do you think they're a dark horse for a championship this year?
Not championship necessarily, but to me, I think if they get the right matchup, they can easily make it to the second round.
The right matchup in this West, in this tight West.
Like I said, the right matchup because the playoffs are
when you say right matchup, if you look at the Western Conference standings, who do you think they match up well against?
They match up against OKC very
Mavericks.
well. The Mavericks very well. Clippers to some extent.
Clippers. Yeah.
If Clippers are not adjusting, they match up very well with the Clippers.
Especially when they go small. When Clippers go small. When you depend on small, they will obliterate you.
And with the Pelicans, it's like they have a trend where they don't start very well. It starts going over and then there's an injury. And then because they've been playing very well for about a month. I think they're like fourth or fifth.
Last year, same thing, and then Zion went down.
Ingram is going to be out for some weeks. So it's been like that for a very long time. But Willie Green is doing well as a coach. And then they have the right pieces. But my biggest concern going into the playoffs is how they stagger their lineups. Because I don't see them winning with Valanciunas and Zion in
4 and 5.
4 and 5. You can't have two non-shooters on the floor in the postseason.
Oh no, but Valanciunas has
he has a nice 3-point shot.
He's below league average.
Okay,
so
true.
if you are below league average, you don't consider as a floor spacer.
Teams will still like to leave Valanciunas.
Go open.
Jay, what grade do you think we should give the Pelicans this year?
Pelicans, I'll give them like a B- or a C+. Because looking at last season, they were actually first before Zion went on a lengthy injury. So looking at them, they have the right pieces. Willie Green is a very, very good defensive coach. And in the playoffs, we all know that you need at least like 3 scorers, right?
Yeah.
You need at least
and then it kind of feels like they've got that.
And they've gotten that, but now with the injury to Brandon Ingram, it makes things a little bit sketchy because you need all the scoring options you can get. So looking at them in the regular season, I'll give them maybe a B-.
Do we agree with the B-?
B solid.
All right. Let's go to another struggling team, the Utah Jazz. Now, the Utah Jazz, it kind of feels like their story always starts from when they traded Mitchell and then Gobert. They went into rebuild mode. So we are not expecting a lot from them. But I've been quite impressed last year with how Markkanen and everybody played. So let me start with you on this one. You claim to have watched them a lot with, of course, your favorite player there, Fontecchio, but now he's left. What have you seen from the Utah Jazz? Have you been impressed with them before and then after Fontecchio left?
I think they are rebuilding now, and then they have the perfect coach for that. That is one crying coach or cry. They have the youngest
He's
coach.
a young,
The youngest coach.
he's a young
LeBron is
guy.
even older than him. Yeah, so he's doing well with what they are doing. But then the rebuild isn't really going on well because they have guys who I feel like will do better on contending teams. Example, John Collins,
Sexton.
Colin Sexton.
Their coaches Will Hardy.
Chris Dunn. They have these guys that they are not built for the rebuilding project, and they've drafted well too. They pick Keontae George from Baylor. They have this Hendricks guy. They pick Walker Kessler from Auburn. That guy is like
That guy is
he's a really good shot blocker. And then they are right where
Colin Sexton is also playing.
they are right where they want to be because now it's all about experimenting. You have Jordan Clarkson, so you do very well in a contender. Now it's all about experimenting, gathering picks, finding young guys who fit what they are trying to do. But I think they are around, not so close to the play,
but
not so much like a rebuilding team. I think they are just in between that. Yeah, but they've done well.
I think it's not been a bad season from there. So what do you think the general consensus is for the Jazz? The grade?
Best C, D,
D.
A D is fine.
A D because they have pieces. They have pieces. They should be at least better than what.
I don't know why they didn't go full shopping in the trade market
pieces.
because they have lots of pieces they have to offload. Because if you are rebuilding and you have these guys who take minutes away from
the younger guys,
it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Interesting. It seems like we are giving the Jazz a D. Now let's go to the former number 1 seed. And they held the number 1 seed for a very long time in the West. We are speaking of the man who now they are considering the new Michael Jordan. Anthony Edwards, Minnesota Timberwolves. Steady, we did an extensive version on the Minnesota Timberwolves and you went in really hard on them. Are you still convinced about how they've played this year?
Oh, they've fallen down the standings because Cat is down and they are not winning some of the games they are supposed to be winning because they are one of the best defensive teams in the league.
Not the best.
If not the best.
Maybe aside the Celtics.
They're number 1.
Aside the Celtics,
because when you watch their game on defense, they communicate well. They know when to double. They know when to show help. They know the low man knows what to do. It's like everyone knows what they are doing. And compared to last season and this season, Cat has really embodied the 4 position because last season it was like He was now getting into it, but this season he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He knows I should be in the corner. He knows I should get away from the way, so maybe they can get driving lanes. I should not clog the paint. Like he knows what he's doing, and like you said, MJ like I like what he's
MJ
doing.
reborn.
What he's doing this season, because I think we were here and we spoke about who you start your team around, and I'm still on cut, but then he has been amazing. For someone who entered the league and then now the spotlight has been on him for a long time, and he has been delivering every day. When Kat went down, he has been holding the team down for so long, and Rudy Gobert, one of the best seasons he has ever had in a long time.
I think on course for another DPOIG. What's your take on the Timberwolves?
The Timberwolves, for me, I think they're a very good team. You know, I don't know if you guys remember, but last season in the playoffs, they're the only team that actually really, really worried the Nuggets.
I think it's the Suns. The Suns took 2 games off Denver.
not really.
But Minnesota took 1 game off Denver.
How close
the gaps were. Like they really gave them problems. And
I think their size matches up well with Denver.
very, very well. And if you look at this season, as he said, now Kat has gotten his role down. He knows exactly what to do. First, we were all concerned about how well they fit.
And I think even Ant expressed that problem, how getting to the lane was now a little bit more difficult because of the 2 big men.
Yeah. And as my colleagues were saying, when it comes to playoff basketball, it's all about defense. I think they have like the number 1 ranked defense in the whole league. And you need closers. So when you take a look at Anthony Edwards, as you said, MJ, this guy... This guy is actually unbelievable.
Dunking over everybody.
I mean, if you guys remember very well, the game against the Pacers, he made a 3, came back, made a game-winning block, which he hit his head on the rim. That's absolutely
he's
insane.
dunking on guys and breaking his fingers.
That's insane.
Crazy.
Insane.
But let's finish with the Timberwolves defense again. Now, Rudy Gobert, defensive player of the year, because on the Jazz, he was also defensive player of the year. But when it got to the playoffs, they were exposing him. Now, the main reason was because the Jazz didn't have good perimeter defenders. So he always had to come out and then come and help. Yeah. But this time, when you've got the likes of Anthony Edwards and Jaden McDaniels, he's got the comfortability to stay in the paint and then repel everything there. Are you convinced with the Minnesota Timberwolves so far?
Defensively, I am. My only concern with them is the offense, especially when it
slows down in the half court.
It's in the fourth quarter, and they don't really generate a lot of good shots because Edwards is their only on-ball creator when it gets to scoring the ball. Anthony Towns has a little bit of on-ball creation juice, but it depends on the matchups. He's more of a spot-up guy or a guy who can attack close-out. Michael Conley is not someone you can trust with creating shots. Jaden McDaniels gets his shots off what is created from him. And Rudy Gobert is literally getting shots off lobs. And that's not enough in the playoffs because in the playoffs, you need guys who can go and get you buckets. And if Edwards is the only one who has more of on-ball creation, it doesn't push the needle that much.
Exactly. So what's the grade we are giving to the Timberwolves?
They've been amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, the Timberwolves have been impressive because coming into this season, we didn't expect them to be first, but they've done well. But now, let's get to serious business. Let's talk about serious teams. The Minnesota is serious, but this team is more serious. We're going to the reigning defending champions. Let's go to the Mile High, the Denver Nuggets, and they are proving to do it once again. They started the season maybe a bit slow, 50-50, but they've ramped up when they needed to do it the most. The Denver Nuggets, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, they are doing their thing once again. Jen, I want to pick it from you. Is it going to be their year again?
I think so. I really, really think so because I don't know if you guys noticed, but their coach, right, Coach Malone, he came out after the All-Star break and said, Nikola Jokic, he sent a text message to the group saying that
it's time.
It's time.
It's time. Let's go to work.
It's after the All-Star break. It's time. Let's step up. I want everybody. And after that, I think they've lost like only 1 game, or even I don't think they've even lost a game.
They just lost 1 game
to the Mavericks.
That
Kyrie game winning shot.
The buzzer winning shot. So
I
if
feel
you
like
look
they
at
won
the
that
team,
game.
they have a complete set. I mean, the pick and roll, as I always say, Jokic is literally unstoppable. Even just last night, he had another triple-double. And if you look at Jamal Murray, he's very clutch. We don't know, but he's very clutch, and he's a tough shot maker.
Oh, exactly.
And their defense is very good with Aaron Gordon. That's a body you can throw on literally everyone. He can defend center men to point guards, to shooting guards, to small forwards. So if you look at the West, we have players who can score the ball, like players on the Clippers, like Kawhi Leonard and all. But I think Aaron Gordon can shut down all these players. George, Kawhi. I don't think he can do it to LeBron.
That's a big statement. But the Denver Nuggets are doing it once again. They're currently the number 2 seed, and they could end up being the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
What just makes the Denver Nuggets tick?
I feel like anytime people hear Denver Nuggets, what comes to your head is Jokic, Murray, Coach Malone. That is not the Nuggets. The real Nuggets. What they have that most teams in the league don't have is they lost Uncle Jeff and they lost Bruce Brown. And what did they do? they gave the extended minutes to Peyton Watson, to Christian Brown, and
Christian
those
Brown,
two are cooking teams
Stepping
off
up.
the bench. And with the Nuggets, it feels like with any 5-man units they run, they know exactly what they
to
are
be,
doing.
true.
And what makes them the team to beat is the way they play in crunch time. I've never seen a team know
The
what's
execution,
happening in the
crazy.
fourth like the Nuggets, like whether be it offense or defense. And then the synergy amongst their 5 best players, like it's just crazy. Bringing Coach Malone, and then
Everybody knows their
there's
roles.
a certain chat about this Denver mile height. It really,
The
really
altitude,
works.
yeah,
It really,
it's-
really works. When teams go to Denver,
They
they
get
But I don't
tired.
understand
They
why
get tired.
Really
a
works.
stadium that has been covered, the air is still.
It really, that altitude.
It shouldn't worry. It shouldn't worry.
Teddy, your final take on Denver, and then they agreed.
Or for me, it's mostly how last season it was Jokic Murray 2-man game. Then they brought in. Then they have the Jokic Gordon 2-man game, and this season they brought Jokic Murray and Gordon 3-man game. Like in the fourth quarter, it's amazing.
And Porter.
And shout out to KCP. KCP's defense has been amazing. Peyton Watson on defense. When he's the help defense, when he's the tag man, he knows when to stay on the ground. He knows when to block. He's number 2 in short blocks this season. Amazing. Someone who is off the bench. These are some of the things they are doing that's making them.
So I think it's right if we give the Denver Nuggets another A.
A+.
Yeah.
Crazy A. Let's end it with the final 2 teams. Teams who had huge expectations coming in. We'll go to the Valley of the Suns, the Phoenix Suns. Another mixed bag for them, 50-50 season. Let's start with you for this one. Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker. When we throw those names in the lights, everybody's eyes goes bright. But things are not looking as bright as that because they are not in the seedings where we expect them to be. What have you seen from the Suns so far?
I think with the games they've played together, they've shown us that they can be a very dangerous offensive team. And to me, I feel like they are the team that matches well with everybody in the playoffs. Because if it comes to putting the ball into the net, they're amongst the best when it gets to scoring. The problem is they have 3 guys who operate from the very same spot. Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant are amongst the league best in mid-range jumpers. And they take lots of mid-range shots. And these guys are not willing to stay outside and shoot threes. The only legit floor spacer in the starting lineup is Grayson Allen. And that guy can really shoot. Nurkic is doing his thing inside. He's grabbing rebounds, he's protecting the rim. And then defensively too, they don't have much from the perimeter because Booker, Beal, and Grayson are minus. And it looks like their best defenders are coming off the bench. Okogie, Royce O'Neal. And they don't really get all those minutes. My biggest problem with them is the offense and the kind of shots they take. I feel like the coaching staff is not doing enough job to get them quality shots from outside because KD and the rest.
I think they've been good. Teddy, the Phoenix Suns, a team that had loads of expectations, as we said earlier. Do you think their depth is good enough? Because that's one place I have some worries about the depth.
Honestly, I'm not taking them serious anymore. From the beginning of this season, it was they added another piece, and it was like, okay, we didn't have enough data on them, so let's relax. Now they came into the game, they played Bucks this week, and then they gave up 140 points. They gave up 25 made threes without Giannis. Giannis is mostly the guy who the gravity guy, drive clogging the paint, and then
so without him, him to.
How are you giving up 25 made threes? They are not playing good basketball. They are not playing like contenders. They are not playing like a team that wants to win. Getting back to reality, when we get into the playoffs, we know that these players are not healthy players. One may go down. And from what we learned last season, if they don't have all their pieces, they're not going to get there.
They're surely going to be trouble.
I don't take them serious.
Final touch on the Suns, and then we give them the agreed.
Well, before I even give my submission, you said you've lost hope.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
In Bradley Beal,
And Devin Booker.
KD, and Devin Booker. But you have,
I'm not taking them serious anymore.
but you have hope in Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown.
I'm not taking them serious
Oh,
anymore.
come on, man.
I'm not
Come
taking
on.
them serious
You know
anymore.
what for the mindset.
With the Phoenix Suns, I think with what my colleague said, when they're all healthy, when they're all together, you see the potential for something big. I mean, they have a lot of wins together.
It's been something big since last season.
But the problem is we haven't seen them together so much, so we can't really
No, we can't. They've
jump
been
to
together
conclusions.
for like 10 matches. They played 10 matches together.
So-
But it's not enough.
So
It's enough.
It's
But
10
it's
months.
enough data. It's
Oh,
enough
no,
data
no,
to
no.
run.
Well,
Ten
let's
Come on.
It's enough.
It's enough.
It's not enough.
It's
10
enough.
games out of 82.
It's
Let's
enough.
give
10 games
them,
out of
let's
8.
give them the agreed now.
It's enough.
Come on.
I think it will be a middle grade, maybe a D.
Me,
Oh.
I'll give.
Or a C.
I'll give
Oh,
them.
because we're
I'll give them
expecting
a C.
more.
I'll give them
A C.
Or a C or a
Oh,
D.
well, I'll give them an F.
But mind you, Devin Booker and Kevin Durant are
Exactly.
two of the
They are
best player
killers.
performers in the NBA.
Thank you.
And when it gets to April, like
Thank
I said,
you.
they are a team we don't want to match up well with. Yes, they have their defensive woes, but if it comes to If you score, they will score. If you score, they will score. If
Your
you score,
backup
they will
center
score.
is Drew Eubanks. You want to win the championship.
Charlie,
You want
You want to win the championship.
That's it for the
Bobo
Suns.
did
Let's close it out with a team that destiny rests on one man's shoulders. Stephen Waddell Curry. The Golden State Warriors. The Bay Area boys. Jay, I'll start with you on this one. The Golden State Warriors, do they have any chance at all? Currently the 10th seed, do they have any chance at all at winning the chip this year?
A chip, I don't think so. They are just too small in the West to win a chip. If you look at the very good teams in the West who made runs to the conference finals, like the LA Lakers. Yeah, thank you very much. If you look at the very good teams in the West, they have big bodies, right? They have big bodies. Even though Golden State is the only team that can go small and really hurt you.
Yeah.
Because they have shooters. They have like lights out shooters. But I think with the progression of Jonathan Kuminga and some other pieces, I don't think they are there yet. Steph Curry, he can do a lot. I mean, we saw it in the game 7 against the Sacramento. He went for 50 points. But I don't think he can do it all because
You don't think they have enough?
Klay Thompson has been, come on, he's been
He's
on and
had
off.
a down season.
He's been on and off. I think with Chris Paul coming back into the fold from injury, it actually helps them because he can actually like shepherd the second unit in those times. But looking at the teams in the West and the competition they have to go through from the Kings to the Pelicans to the Mavericks to Lakers,
a lot of teams.
I don't think they'll be able to make much
Also,
noise.
the Golden State Warriors.
You see, if you've really been following their whole rise up from 2015, the strength of this Warriors team, is in their numbers. And this season, they don't have numbers. They don't have
quality
numbers. When I say numbers not necessarily like the players on the roster. Like when the dynasty and everything was starting, they used to have guys like Harrison Barnes. They used to have guys like Sean Livingston, Andre Iguodala coming off the bench. For
quality players.
For some years, they had Quinn Cook and stuff coming up. Leandro Barbosa.
Yeah.
But in this instance, they don't have all those guys. And right now, they are relying on first-year guys, Pujemski, Tracy Jackson Davis.
Second-year guys.
Moses Moody, Jonathan Kuminga to actually show that load. And that load, you give that load to veteran guys who are experienced, who are battle
But they kind of did same with Jordan Poole and it still worked.
Yes, because Jordan spent 3 years
On the
within
Warriors,
that setup, and then he picked a lot. And they have to over-rely on Steph to do stuff for them offensively, Draymond to do stuff for them defensively. And right now, you can never rely on Klay Thompson because you don't know which version of Klay Thompson you are going to get. So,
Wow. Teddy, finish with us on the Golden State Warriors. Why you do that?
Because Golden State the shipping team. So what's the count of?
Hey, behave. See, I don't know why the Golden State fans are feeling like they can win something this season because obviously and honestly, there's nothing to be won this season. Look at but there are ups, there are good things you can take from this season. Because when you look at Draymond at the 5, because Draymond's height and the kind of fives he has to battle every night. He has been doing an amazing job. He has to be the facilitator on offense because we know Steph Curry is not a traditional point guard. He has to do more on offense, set screens. Now you have Klay Thompson coming off the bench and doing amazingly. It's like now I think maybe his mind is okay because first maybe they'll give me a contract, don't give me a contract, but now it's like okay, I'm coming off the bench, and most of their first years and their second years, like they said, have allowed themselves to be used, and I like how Kuminga has been given the minute he deserved because this season it was like Obaka, then they'll let you sit there, but now
Coach Kerr was kind of
he's now the second option on the
handling
team.
his minutes. So they're great for the Warriors.
C.
C minus.
C.
Coach Kerr should even get some stake for this Warriors collapse.
But I think a C is not bad. But that's how we'll close it out on this one. The Western Conference grading part 1. So this one we go close them out in African movie fashion. Watch out for part 2. With the cow, subscribe to the channel.